Do you ever feel like your heart is racing? Or perhaps your mind is constantly running through a to-do list that never seems to end? If you've found yourself nodding along, you're not alone. That, my friends, is our body's response to challenge or demand, a universal experience known as stress. Now, stress can be a hard beast to pin down. It's a chameleon, changing its form from one person to another, from one situation to another. For some, it might manifest as a feeling of being overwhelmed or on edge. For others, it could be a constant state of worry or anxiety. And let's not forget those physical symptoms: headaches, sleep problems, even a racing heart. But here's a twist. Stress isn't always the bad guy, that's right. Sometimes stress can be good for us. It can sharpen our senses, help us rise to meet challenges, and even motivate us to push beyond our limits. It's like that extra shot of espresso in your morning coffee, giving you the kick you need to power through the day. However, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. There's a darker side to stress, one that can sneak up on us if we're not careful. When stress becomes chronic, that's a fancy way of saying it's sticking around for longer than necessary. It can lead to a host of problems. We're talking about everything from burnout to serious health issues. It's a bit like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. Too little stress and we're left feeling bored and uninspired. Too much stress and we're overwhelmed and unable to cope. But the right amount of stress, that's just right. So, stress isn't always the villain of our story, but it's crucial to understand its different forms and how they impact us. It's not about eliminating stress entirely, let's face it, that's impossible, but about learning to recognize it, understand it, and manage it effectively. After all, the first step to conquering any challenge is understanding it. So let's unmask this chameleon together. Did you know that not all stress is bad? In fact, sometimes, stress can be our ally. Sounds surprising, doesn't it? But it's true. Stress is not always the villain it's painted to be. It has two faces: the good stress, also known as eustress, and the bad stress, known as distress. Let's talk about the good one first. Eustress is like that friend who nudges you to step out of your comfort zone. It's the adrenaline rush that helps you meet deadlines, perform well in a sports competition, or respond to dangerous situations. It's what propels you to study for that test, prepare for that interview, or finish that project. Eustress is a catalyst for growth and improvement. It's short-term, motivational, and makes us feel excited and important. Now let's flip the coin. Distress, the bad stress, is the overbearing, relentless pressure that makes you feel overwhelmed and anxious. It's like a heavy backpack that you can't seem to shake off. It's the worry that keeps you up at night, the anxiety that makes you dread the day ahead, the fear that paralyzes you. Distress is chronic, it's harmful, and it's the stress we often talk about when we say we're stressed out. It's not just uncomfortable, it's detrimental to our health and well-being. But here's the thing, both eustress and distress are part of life. They're two sides of the same coin. It's about balance, knowing when stress is pushing you to be better and when it's pulling you under. It's about recognizing the difference between a challenge and a threat, between motivation and fear. So, while some stress can push us towards success, too much of it, or the wrong kind, can pull us down. Remember, it's okay to feel stressed, but it's not okay to let it control you. It's not the stress itself, but how we handle it that defines our experience. So let's learn to embrace the good stress and manage the bad one. After all, it's all part of the beautifully complex tapestry of life. Stress is not selective. It affects us all, from the energetic teenager to the wise and experienced elder. Stress, my friends, is a universal language. It speaks to us all, regardless of age. Yet often, we fail to recognize its signs in certain age groups, particularly children and the elderly. Let's start with the young ones, our children. We often overlook stress in children, assuming their lives are carefree and full of fun. But the truth is, stress can and does affect them. It can stem from academic pressure, peer relationships, or even family dynamics. When stress goes unnoticed and unaddressed, it can impact their performance at school, strain their relationships with friends and siblings, and hinder their overall growth and brain development. Now, let's talk about our seniors, those wise, experienced individuals who've weathered life's many storms. Stress in this age group often goes unnoticed as adults are busy juggling their own lives. But let's not forget, our elders experience stress too. It could be due to health issues, loss of independence, or the loneliness that sometimes comes with age. Stress in the elderly can manifest in various ways. They may become more forgetful, lose interest in activities they once enjoyed, or even become irritable. So, whether it's a 5-year-old anxious about a spelling test or an 80-year-old feeling isolated, stress does not discriminate. It's a universal experience that can affect anyone at any age in different ways. The first step towards managing stress effectively is to acknowledge its presence. Only then can we begin to understand it, accept it, and proactively deal with it. Let's take a look at some common stressors. It's no secret that life is full of complications and challenges, and these can often lead to stress. One of the most common causes of stress is work. Deadlines, heavy workloads, and conflicts with colleagues can all contribute to a feeling of being overwhelmed. Then there's financial stress. Whether it's trying to make ends meet, managing student loan debt, or saving for a secure future, money worries can take a significant toll on your mental well-being. Relationship stress is another common factor. Disagreements with loved ones, breakups, or the death of someone close can trigger intense stress responses. Last but not least, health-related stress can arise from chronic illnesses, injuries, or even worrying about potential health issues. But how do we know when we're stressed? Well, stress can manifest itself in a variety of ways. Physically, you might experience headaches, stomach problems, or a racing heart. You could also have trouble sleeping or feel constantly tired. Emotionally, stress can lead to feelings of anxiety, restlessness, and irritability. You might find yourself feeling overwhelmed, unmotivated, or even depressed. And stress doesn't just affect how we feel, it can also change our behavior. You might find yourself eating more or less than usual, withdrawing from social activities, or using alcohol or drugs as a coping mechanism. Remember, everyone experiences stress differently. What might be a minor inconvenience for one person could be a major stressor for another. And the way we react to stress can also vary widely. But the important thing to remember is that it's okay to feel stressed. It's a normal part of life. The key is recognizing when you're stressed and understanding what's causing it. Identifying the causes and symptoms of stress is the first step towards managing it effectively. Now that we understand stress a little better, how do we deal with it? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Well, the answer lies not in avoiding stress, but in embracing it. Yes, you heard it right. Stress is a natural part of life, and the first step towards effectively managing it is to accept it. Understanding stress is the next crucial step. Remember, stress isn't inherently bad. It's our body's natural response to demanding situations, helping us stay alert, focused, and energized. It's when stress becomes chronic or overwhelming that it starts to take a toll on our health and well-being. So, it's essential to understand your stressors, observe how they affect you, and identify what you can do to address them. Now, let's talk about proactively managing stress. Stress management isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. What works for one person might not work for another. However, there are some universal techniques that can help everyone manage stress more effectively. Regular exercise, for instance, is a powerful stress buster. It not only improves your physical health, but also boosts your mood by triggering the release of endorphins, the body's natural feel-good hormones. A balanced diet is another key to managing stress. Consuming nutrient-rich foods can help your body better cope with stress, keeping you energized and focused throughout the day. Getting adequate sleep is equally important. It's during sleep that your body repairs itself and recharges for the next day. Lack of sleep can exacerbate stress symptoms, making it harder for you to cope with daily challenges. Mindfulness practices such as meditation and deep breathing exercises can also help manage stress. They bring your attention back to the present moment, helping you break free from negative thought patterns and fostering a sense of inner peace. Remember, stress is a part of life, but it doesn't have to control our lives. It's all about understanding it, accepting it, and taking proactive steps to manage it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more insightful videos on managing stress in different settings.